Greetings everyone and welcome. It's Sunday once more, which means it's time for another episode of the Captain's Table. To recap last week's episode of the Captain's Table, I was eager to take a look at and move forward on a potential new apartment in a different part of the city. And the apartment, based on what I saw, is actually larger than my current space, and turns out is actually even cheaper than my current space, because the base rent price included water, sewer, garbage as part of it. Well, I managed to move forward on that this week, setting up a time to go in and do an in-person interview with the landlord and get moving forward on that. And I had that interview on Monday. And at the end of it, I was tentatively offered the apartment, provided my background check came back without any issues, which I completely expected to be the case. Once that background check did in fact come back, I got a call back and an email telling me that it was all cleared and we should go ahead and set up a time to move forward with the lease signing process. And this is where things got a little bit tricky, because this was happening rather rapidly over the course of about 3 days. I was at work and pretty much needed to set up a time when I could get up to the landlord's house to sign the lease, but that wouldn't impact my work or my commute home. And since I have been living in my current apartment for 4 years, there have been some serious changes in the way things are done. The first major change has to do with the amount of the deposit. Back when I first moved into my current place, and even my first apartment, the deposit was never more than equal to half of the monthly rent. And you only got half of it back. Now, deposits are equal to a full month's rent, but many places are giving you it all back, provided you leave the apartment in good condition. The other thing that has changed that almost threw a wrench in my plans, well, I say almost, it basically did throw a wrench in my plans, was that this landlord, and apparently many others, no longer accept personal checks for your deposit and first month's rent. It has to be in the form of a money order or a cashier's check. My bank is located in Texas. Its only branch is in Texas, and I don't even think you can walk into it. Now, I love my bank. It's a fantastic place to bank. But being in Texas means that to get a cashier's check cut from that bank and get it into my hand, they have to mail it. And you can guess that mailing anything can be a bit of a dicey prospect. More importantly, because I got paid on Thursday, and until I got paid, I didn't have the money in my account. I couldn't get that check issued until Thursday at the earliest. And since I was planning on meeting with the landlord Friday afternoon, that meant not only paying for the check, but also paying $10 to $15 to have it expedited overnight to my location. Which just brings up even more probabilities of things going wrong, and drives up the cost. The good news, however, is that my dad, who's local, also has a local bank account. and has money in that local bank account. So he went and he got a cashier's check for me. And all I had to do was simply pay him with a personal check. Since it's not like I'm going to bounce money from my dad, and my dad's not going to bounce money from me. So, I got the check. Ultimately, we ended up having to reschedule the lease signing to Saturday afternoon. But I got up there, got the lease all signed up, got everything ready to go, and as I mentioned, this landlord is pretty old school when it comes down to certain things. And one of the things that he's old school about is that he's not going to charge me for the 4 to 7 days at the end of the month that I will likely have after I've taken possession of the apartment. So I'm going to get almost a week, if not a full week, of free rent out of it so that I can move into my new space. That being said, moving in will probably occur next weekend. I will do my best to try and get videos pre-recorded and ready to go for that following week. However, things can change, and as I pack and as I work, stuff may not get done. So please do bear with me while I go through the moving process. Get myself moved in to the new place, get at the very least my PCs set up for you, and get my internet set up. I don't know how long of a process this is going to take. I'm really hoping it's going to be nice and quick, but it is going to need to be done, and it could potentially take up to 2 weeks. I'm hoping that's not that long. I don't think I could live without the internet, without World of Warships, without any of it for 2 weeks. In other news, I finally took official possession of my car. So now that vehicle is officially mine, which meant having to buy insurance for it and, of course, pay the tags on it. We got a new employee at work. He's so far doing pretty well. Things are getting done, which is great. We're full staffed. Hopefully, I will not have any more 12-day work weeks. And it was a 12-day work week for me, as last week on Monday, which is my only day off, I got called in for an on-call in the evening. Yay! Overtime. Lots of overtime on my paycheck this time around. Almost 10 hours worth. So I'm going to have a nice big fat check here on the 1st of June. And even better, because I've paid first month's rent. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.